towards the sun or away from the sun? Away. Good job. So, whenever the earth is leaning away from the sun, we experience winter.
You in?
For example,
I'm
how
pulling
is
it
the
up.
earth leaning now?
My phone is.
Towards or away from the sun? What season are we in?
Winter.
Hello? We're in winter. So, exactly. So, our hemisphere, the northern hemisphere, is tilted away from the sun.
Alright, so get
So,
up.
at this time, we're experiencing winter. But
You said.
places that are located in the
I'm
southern
listening to you.
hemisphere, like Australia, they're experiencing what season? What season is it in Australia right now? Australia is in the southern hemisphere. If we're experiencing winter, what are they experiencing? Summer. Exactly. Okay? So remember that the tilt of Earth on its axis causes seasons. The tilt is 23.5 degrees. When the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, is winter in the northern
Get up if you
hemisphere.
want. Come.
But remember that the seasons are always opposite, so therefore it's summer in the southern hemisphere. Now look at this diagram to the right. If you look at this diagram to the right, you see that the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. So because the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, it's summer.
Alright, Tyrese, I just sent the link to you.
Now, if it's summer in the northern hemisphere, remember that it's winter in the southern hemisphere.
Alright, hold on.
So, why do we experience summer when the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun? Think about it. Think about summer. Think about the season of summer. Why
That's
do
good
we
defense.
experience summer when the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun? Hello? Don't all jump in at once. Just think about it. Why do you think we experience summer
I swear every
when
time I tap
the northern
X, bro, it
hemisphere,
never
where
passes
the
the
United
ball.
States is located, is tilted towards the sun?
But Tyrese, I already got 80 ball handle. I'm ready to go crazy with the momentums.
What is summer like?
Oh, I already got momentum though. I ain't tell you that. You already can get momentum. No, I gotta get
Do I need
momentum.
to do a camera check?
Lord.
Are you all here today? What was the question again? I said, why do you think we experience summer when the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun? How are the temperatures in the summertime? Hot. Hot. Why
Niggas
is
got
it
Zans
hot
and
in the
shit, bro.
summertime?
Come
What
on.
makes it hot? The sun. So we experience summer when the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun because we're receiving more what? Heat. We're receiving more heat from the sun. Exactly. And think about this. How are the days
This
during the
nigga is so
summertime?
ass, bro. He has his hand.
What time does it get dark in the summertime?
I got 9 o'clock. I mean 8.
Give me a roundabout time. About 9 o'clock. Okay? So the sun is out 4 o'clock or 4:30. Okay? Now also relate that to the temperatures in the wintertime. Why is it colder in the wintertime? We're receiving less what? Sunlight and heat. We're receiving less sunlight. And if you look at this diagram, we're receiving less sunlight in the wintertime because our hemisphere is tilted what? Towards or away from the sun?
Away.
Hello?
Away.
In the wintertime, how are we tilted? Towards or away? Away. Away. Okay? So remember that the tilt of Earth on its axis causes seasons. And because of this tilt, we receive different amounts of sunlight. So this is why we see variations in temperature, and this is why we see variations between the length of day and nighttime hours throughout the season. Okay? Now, as I stated before, we experience seasons because as the Earth revolves around the sun, different parts of Earth's surface receives different amount of sunlight due to its tilt. Now, we know that we in the United States, we experience 4 seasons, okay? Summer, winter, spring, and fall. But all locations on Earth's
This game
surface
fucking
do
suck.
not experience 4 seasons. For example, places that are located near the equator do not experience drastic changes in seasons throughout the year. For example, if we live in Ecuador,
I'm in there.
which is very, very close to the equator, what season would it appear that we would experience throughout the entire year because of our location? Summer. Summer. And why summer? Because it's along the equator, and usually the equator is hotter throughout the entire year. Exactly. Because places like Ecuador are almost adjacent to the equator. And the sun's energy is always focused at the equator. So places that are located near the equator do not experience drastic temperature changes or drastic changes between daytime and nighttime hours because they receive the same amount of sunlight throughout the year because they are located at the equator. Now, as you move away from the equator, the seasons become more drastic. Now, at the equator, they don't experience change. We
It was saying, bro, shut up.
So we experience all 4 seasons, but places near the poles experience drastic seasonal changes. For example, the first day of winter at the North Pole, it is dark for 30 days. This is because the North Pole is at the very upper reach of
I'm gonna go crazy at my career real quick.
So when we're tilted away from the sun, the North Pole is extremely
Get these badges up.
tilted away from the sun. So not only does it stay dark there for 30 days, but the temperatures drastically decline. The same thing happens in the summertime. In the summertime at the North Pole, it stays daytime temperatures are warmer, however, they are still cold compared to the rest of the region. So remember that areas that are located near the equator, they do not experience drastic temperature changes because
And one.
areas near the
Marquis, if you didn't get
equator
that N1, you trash.
receive the
Now let me
same
stop.
amount of sunlight throughout the entire year.
Oh, I need to upgrade my fruits, bro.
Remember, we,
That
and
shit
if you look at this
trash.
diagram, in the northern hemisphere, like a
Plug
location
in
What?
for the free
Chicago,
throws, bro.
Illinois, would experience all four seasons.
Why is it not making me guard him? Alright.
But at the North Pole, remember that their seasons are very drastic. Now, in terms of seasons, we have what is called our equinoxes and we
That shit
have
off.
our solstices. Okay? Now, equinox is considered to be an equinox because the Earth is receiving equal amounts of sunlight.
Pass the bitch
The
out.
Earth is not tilted towards
Damn, I ain't had no
or
stamina.
away
I
from the
missed
sun.
that bitch.
So, in terms of our equinoxes, we have what is called the vernal equinox. The vernal equinox is the first day of spring, which occurs either
cutting,
on
nigga.
March the 19th or March the 20th. That's the vernal equinox. You will notice that in the springtime, we have about 12 hours of daytime and 12 hours of nighttime.
Oh, let me write this down.
That's because we're not tilted towards or away from the sun. We're at an equal angle. The same thing applies to fall. We also have what is called the autumnal equinox. The autumnal equinox is the first day of fall, which is September the 22nd or September the 23rd. Now, the opposite of an equinox is a solstice. We have our summer solstice, which occurs on June the 20th or June the 21st. This is the longest day of the year. This is why the days in the summertime are so long. Because during your summer solstice, we're tilted at our highest angle towards the sun. So the sun is higher in the sky. So it takes longer for it to go down. Now, the longest day of the year is the summer solstice. However, the shortest day of the year is the winter solstice. So the winter solstice, the first day of winter, occurs on December the 21st or December the 22nd, which is the shortest day of the year. Okay? So, if you were to see a diagram that's showing you changes in seasons, you should be able to label it. Okay? Now, of course, when you all see this diagram on the test, the diagram is going to be blank. Okay? However, I will show you all an easy way to be able to label the diagram. So, whenever you see this diagram, the sun is going to be in the middle. The easiest season to identify first would be the summertime. Because we know whenever it's summertime, the northern hemisphere, where the United States is tilted what? Towards the sun or away from the sun? Hello? The first day of summer, during the summertime, how are we tilted? Towards or away from the sun? Towards. We're tilted towards the sun. Okay? So clearly we can look at this diagram and we know that the Earth at this position represents the summer solstice because the Earth is tilted towards the sun. opposite of summer? The opposite of summer is what? Winter. Winter. So we know if this earth represents summer, then the one directly across from it represents winter. Because in winter, we know that the northern hemisphere is tilted what? Towards or away from the sun? Away. Away. Good job. Okay? So whenever you see this diagram, the first two that you need to identify, or the first one you should identify is summer. And then after summer, you can go ahead and identify winter. Now, to identify your equinoxes, which represent the first day of autumn and the first day of spring, you just have to
Can't save you. I'm gonna tie your ass up. I'm gonna fuck in your ass.
If we have winter and summer label, what season comes before summer?
I'm making jokes now, but she say, "How? My bitch is Spanish, but at least not be down. Niggas be tripping. I'm water whipping."
What season comes before summer? Spring. Okay? So we know that this position of the earth would be spring. Because spring comes before summer. Now, after summer, what season do we have? Fall. Fall. Okay. So this is an easy way to be able to label this diagram. And then another point, which is very important, we know that here on June 22nd, which is the first day of summer. If it's the first day of summer in the northern hemisphere, what season is it in the southern hemisphere? Hello? If it's summer in the northern hemisphere, what season is it in the southern hemisphere? Winter. Winter. Good job. If it's fall in the northern hemisphere, what season is it in the southern hemisphere? Spring. It's spring. Good job. So sometimes when you see this diagram, they will actually ask you all those type of questions. Even after you label each season for the northern hemisphere. Now, remember that all of these seasonal changes are being driven by the tilt of
camera gotta take an SOL.
and the amount of sunlight that is received. So remember that we experience summertime because we're receiving more sunlight. Because we're tilted towards the
I took
sun.
one last year.
So a definition that I want you all to know is the zenith. Okay? And the zenith is the highest possible point of the sun. So the zenith on any given day is the position of the sun at 12 o'clock noon. Okay? Now, you will notice in this diagram, for example, if you had to interpret this diagram showing you the zenith of the sun throughout the year, you will see that on June 21st, the position of the sun is what in comparison to December 21st? Is it higher or lower on June 21st? Is the position of the sun higher or lower on June 21st? And this is the sun here. Is it higher or lower?
question?
I said on June 21st, looking at this diagram, is the position of the sun